What is going on, Jerome's? Happy Monday. And yeah, it's nice to actually wear, the apparel of a team that actually wins. No big deal. But hook 'em, baby. Your Minnesota Vikings unfortunately stumbled out of the gates and fell allegedly 20-17 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But really, they lost against the Minnesota Vikings. Unforced errors, just sloppiness, turnovers, penalties. It was just a mess all the way around, and they let the Buccaneers hang around, and they respect. I mean, they took care of business, and the Vikings simply did not get it done. But you know it's better. You know it's actually, you know it's worse, way worse. Losing to the Cowboys 40-0 on national television. Now the Vikings, we, a proper football team, at least kick a field goal. No big deal. Hey, but Giants. Hey, all of the hype all off season long. Oh, Danny Dimes. Oh, Saquon. Oh, Darren Waller, the game changer. Oh, glizzies, yum. Blah, blah, blah. Please. Zero? Goose egg, DeAndre Russell. Like, I scored as many points as you on Sunday Night Football. Waited all day for Sunday night to watch this. Please. But also, how do we lose these frauds? Like Donashell really got Daniel Jones $40 million a year. It's ridiculous. But it is a Monday. It is a beautiful restart to the week, and also no time to cry in the breast milk because the Vikings got to get after again Thursday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I actually think that the quick turnaround time actually benefits the Vikings because the Eagles, they survived against, we'll get to it. But it's Tell the Truth Monday. 10 truths about the Minnesota Vikings. Number one, the Vikings are, not frauds. Oh, was that a Freudian slip? I don't know. But I understand, like, sports is a very binary thing. Like, you're either Super Bowl bound or you're complete frauds and should tank, right? And are the Vikings frauds? No, they are absolutely not. And we saw what's most frustrating about this team is that we saw glimpses. This is not a complete laydown where the Arizona Cardinals were just complete garbage, all the way through and through, right? But the Vikings offense, when it's going and showing and growing and all that stuff. And you saw when Kirk has some semblance of protection, when JJ is able to get loose, Addison singled up, Hawkinson when he's not getting freaking tight end screens that go for negative yardage, they can be legit. Now, there's a lot of things to iron out. Health on the offensive line for one. Actually getting a decent running game going is number two, but offense is good to go. Defensively, what's not to like? Absent the field goal on the short field as well as the Jay Ward penalty, and the Vikings defense actually only gave up 13 points, 2.2 yards per carry, under 250 yards of offense to the Buccaneers. So that should certainly be enough to win. So are the Vikings frauds? No, absolutely not. It goes number two. The Vikings should not tank. No. I understand the consternation of wanting to find a future franchise quarterback, but have you seen the draft board for what it's going to be next year? Beyond Caleb Williams, beyond Drake May, beyond Shedeur Sanders, there's going to be a lot of really good quarterbacks in this year's draft, and I actually think that there could be 10 quarterbacks taken the top 100 picks. So you want to find a future franchise quarterback? This is the year to do it. And no, you do not need to get into the top 5 to do it. And also, by the way, you should say, oh, this team should tank. They should lose on purpose. It ain't going to happen. All right, so you're going to tell a player whose livelihood depends on him putting good film up, you want him to show lack of effort. Okay, that's not going to happen. Or a coach, you want him to coach poop at, which could impact his future job prospects. You want that to happen? Ain't going to happen. Again, the only way that you can actually tank is from the movie Major League. You just have to field a very poop at team. And some teams are doing that. Some teams are certainly doing that this year. But number three, the offense is not garbage. It didn't. Is it inconsistent? Yes. But this team last year was 7th in points, 8th in yards, and all that with Kirk Cousins running for his life behind that offensive line. Now, the offensive line may have issues again, but also today would be a beautiful day to sign Dalton Reisner or Jason Peters or get both of them. But I think that this offense is going to get back to where it once belonged, and maybe Kevin O'Connell got a little bit too cute with not playing starters in preseason. But you saw first 4 drives, a little bit rough, but once they got clicking, they certainly did get clicking. And if they can put that together for a full game, I think they have a chance to be one of the best offenses in the National Football League. The defense is #good. Everything that was hyped about the Flores defense all off season, when he was hired early on, when they let go of Kendricks and Patrick Peterson and Diesel Dalvin, brought in a bunch of young guys, there's a lot of question marks, but this defense is good. It's going to be aggressive. They're going to get pressure. And I mean, yeah, they will give up plays. And, ideally, could they end up top half of the league for defense? Yes, but yesterday's performance was a fantastic debut, and they're not just going to sit back and let life happen to them. Like, they're going to be up in your face. They're going to play press man. They're going to make things difficult for offensive coordinators, and it's like, yeah, you may get points. Yeah, you may get yards, but you're going to earn every single one of them. Nothing is going to happen. You're never going to get anything for free for Brian Flores' defense. I love that. Number 5, Kevin O'Connell will learn from this. And we did a video that had some controversy where the loss is squarely on Kevin O'Connell, and the whole tag was like, yes, he would say that it is too. This team was sloppy, it was undisciplined, it was unfocused, it was really helter-skelter, and that falls on the head coach. Ultimately, the buck stops with him, and you could say, well, Kevin O'Connell didn't throw that interception, or Kevin O'Connell didn't have those fumbles. Yeah, that's true. But him getting his players ready to go and have everything on point, that is truly on him. And also, some of the calls in game where he was not aggressive enough, decided to punt late in the game, highly questionable. It is. And you got to remember, he's heading into year 2. 13 wins and division title in the first season. Pretty damn good. But he's got to grow from that. He's got to grow and show from that. Next up, number 6. Addison is wide receiver 2, where Kirk, it's clear that Kirk has a lot of trust for KJ, especially in clutch time, and I do think that KJ can still fill that role, but I think it's clear that Addison is wide receiver 2. Now, that's nothing against KJ, even though there's a couple of plays in that game that I'm sure KJ would want back. I think that he is a beautiful wide receiver 2A, 2B, but Addison is just going to be that dude, right? And he had the touchdown catch, which is fantastic. A number of other routes, which were absolutely sick. Him getting open, him getting space, but Kirk simply didn't have time. But I think that Addison will rise up in the progressions. And also, if teams are going to double and triple and try and take away Jefferson, just like the Bucs did in the second half, respect, Addison is going to have to step up. Number 3 is going to have to be number 2 going forward. Next up, 7. The offensive line is a problem. So we knew it was going to be a problem, and preseason showed off that depth was an issue with the 2s and the 3s. And the brought back Brandel and Oli Udoh and Schlutman, and Chris Reed redid his deal, but they needed to add more, and they still have time to fix it with Dalton Reisner, with Jason Peters, with other free agent offensive lineman TBD. You got the cap space, and now is the time to do it. Sitting back and doing nothing is the worst thing you can do. Garrett Bradbury has that back issue. It would be nice to have Schlutman is fine, but it'd be nice to have another body along the interior offensive line. And also, if Ed Ingram keeps making stupid mistakes, you got to have options there. And I don't see one on the roster right now. And Darisaw, hopefully that ankle's going to be good to go. We're absolutely going to need him against Philly. But adding some depth should be a major priority right now. Next up, number 8. Starters should have played preseason. Now, I know that there's 2 ways to look at this. If you play in preseason, you run the risk of injury, but also getting together in a game situation, it's really important. And yes, you can simulate a lot of this in practices, especially joint practices, but you saw how rusty and out of sync this offense looked the first 4 drives, and also the last 2 drives, by the way, when 2 3 and outs. And that comes down to timing and chemistry and putting it all together in a live contact situation. It's nothing that you can really recreate in practice or joint practices per se, but you got to do it in preseason. And I know that Kevin O'Connell doesn't generally play his starters in preseason. That he didn't really do it in the 6 preseason games so far. He comes from the Sean McVay school of thinking, but maybe it's time for him to rethink that. Next up, number 9, Jefferson ain't happy. And just the look right here. A lot of people assume that this has to do with his contract. Now, I'm sure part of it is that, and I'm sure that he would love to have taken this off his plate. Not even about the money. Again, Jefferson's never struck me as a player who's all about the money, even though, yes, he deserves to get paid his market rate, which is the highest paid receiver in NFL history. But part of me just thinks that he wants this off his plate so he doesn't have to think about it. He doesn't have to worry about it. And this is a man who just loves to win. He puts his team first. Everything that Jefferson says, it's not about me. It's about we. It's about winning ball games. Going back to his time at LSU, he's accustomed to winning. He's accustomed to getting it done. And like, this hurts. This hurts him. And also, remember, the first 2 years of his career, he was never above 500 in the final 2 years of Zimmer. Isn't that crazy? And he got accustomed to winning last year, offensive player of the year. But I'm sure he was more happy about the wins and having a chance to make some noise in the playoffs, even though they were one and done. So this hurts. This hurts. Jefferson is not happy right now. And again, I would say it's maybe like 5% about his contract, and everything else is about winning. Next up, number 10. TBD on Kirk's future, where Kirk is 35. I do think that Kirk has a number of good years left in him, but also his lack of mobility. I mean, you've seen around the league, the mobile quarterbacks, it can cover up a lot of stink. Like, mobile quarterbacks are a cologne they're like Draconor, that cover up a lot of stink along the offensive line. And Kirk being relatively stationary, that's been a bit of an issue, but also the offensive line play has been a bit of an issue. And, Kirk, I know that Jefferson alluded to he wants to be with Kirk with his extension, but how much longer does Kirk have? Do they believe in Jaron Hall? Will they make a move for a quarterback? Again, plenty of them are going to be in the 2024 draft. You don't have to tank or get all the way up to one, but what's going to happen? What's going to happen? All right. And lastly, screw it, bonus one, number 11, the Vikings can beat Philly. And I know that people are depressed right now and they're crying. And actually, shouldn't say depressed because don't want to use a pejorative term. But people are down on the Vikings. Boo, boo, that whole thing. May as well go 0-17 and go for Caleb Williams. What makes you think Caleb Williams want to come here? Yeah, maybe he just returned to school. But the Vikings, any given Sunday, any given Thursday, can march into Philly and then get things done. And I know that it's colored by what happened last year in Philly and also 38-7, but you saw what the Patriots did to the Eagles and kept everything close, and that is not a good Patriots team. Yeah, the defense is coming together, but Mac Jones, not buying it. Not buying it. Now, the Eagles pass rush certainly got home against New England, but getting the ball out in space, getting the ball to the playmakers. Jefferson, I'm sure he wants revenge for what happened in Philly last year. Please stay away from Darius Big Play Slay. That is all. But also, with this new Flores defense, I think the Vikings are going to have a fighting shot in the city of brotherly love on Thursday. Woo, that's right. And also, can't start out 0-2. You cannot start 0-2, and then you got the Chargers coming in week 3. It's going to be a little bit rough, but hey, get off the schneid. And like I said, I actually do think that the quick turnaround could be good for the Vikings because they don't have those extra days to just cry in the breast milk and get down on themselves and poo-poo and all that stuff. They got to get back after it because guess what? They got to walk through today. They got practice tomorrow. Talk about practice. And then Wednesday, Wednesday they travel. And then Thursday we're at it, man. We're at it, man. But that's all. Tell the Truth Monday. I guess 11 truths about the 2023 allegedly 0-1 Minnesota Vikings, the best 0-1 team in NFL history. Let us know your thoughts on our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.